Hey, it's Jeremy. I am the founder of LATT SEO, and I work with e-commerce brands to help them generate more exposure, more sales, more traffic from organic search or SEO. What I'm doing in this video is looking at fringe sport from an SEO perspective to determine what can or should be done to help them rank better, get more traffic, and generate more sales from organic search or SEO. So, that being said, first thing I like to do is look at this tool here called Ahrefs and look at some high-level data points and then drill into the keywords specifically to see what's going on and what they can do to improve. And first thing to look at would be referring domains. And a referring domain, if you're unfamiliar, is a unique instance of different website on the internet linking to this site. And the reason we look at these is because Google looks at them as votes of confidence. You want to have trusted sites linking to you. And when you do, Google sees that and views your site as an authoritative site. Secondly, as you get more links to your site that are high powered, high quality, and authoritative, your DR or domain rating tends to increase as well. And this is on a 0 to 100 scale and essentially lets us know how strong your site is and also how difficult a keyword or phrase is likely to be to rank for based on who's ranking for it and their DR. So that being said, let's dig right into the keywords here and see if there are any opportunities they can work on to improve and how. First thing to do is just look generally at how many keywords they have and sorting this by search volume. You can see they have 22,871 different keywords they're ranking for in search engines, and the search volume here that you can see is there's some massive opportunities here. But some of these don't make sense to focus on from a high level view. Something as broad as barbell or dumbbells, probably not a great opportunity, even though there's big search volume for them. They're at position 30 and 90 for each of the, or 97, I mean, for each of these. So from this perspective, focusing on something like that probably doesn't make sense at this point, but it could be something to focus on in the future. And part of the reason for that is thinking about the user intent for a search. If somebody Googles barbell, chances are they're not as far down the funnel as somebody who's looking for a specific barbell, an Olympic barbell or a powerlifting barbell. So that is something to think about as well when figuring out what you should work on to focus on optimizing a collections page or a product page for. But one opportunity here that is a little bit more specific would be something like weighted vest. And you can see 38,000 people search that every month, and they're at number 39. So there is some better opportunity here, in my opinion, for what I'm seeing. So if we look at the search results for this, we can get an idea of who's ranking and see if this would make sense to compete on just from a high level view in terms of other sites that are ranking for this key phrase. And first thing I like to do is look at just the DR column to see if a DR 56 could compete for this keyword based on who's ranking for it. So we have GoRuck at number 1, DR 71, Hypeware, or Hyperware, I mean, 48, Rogue at 76, Amazon, Garage Gym Reviews 68, Fun and Function 59. So to me, it looks like they can compete because there are a couple that are actually the same or lower than them on page 1. So other things to look at then would be how to better optimize this page to rank for something like weighted vest instead of, or in addition to weight vest. And to do that, I like to just get a quick view or a quick look at the page itself to see is anything way off or what else can and should be done as we look at some other tools to help us understand and optimize this page better. And I can see here what looks like weight vests is an H1, which is good if that's the primary key phrase. If the primary key phrase they wanted to focus on was weighted vest or weighted vests, then optimizing this differently would make more sense. But we'll get into that in a second here. And then we do have one paragraph of content here, and then for 4 different products. So the content here, in most cases would make sense to add some more additional content here to work to capture additional key phrases. And the reason for that is if we look at all keywords containing weighted vest, there are 2,777 keywords, and the total monthly search volume for this is 119,000. So there are some big opportunities to optimize this better and or build a content plan to have articles explaining and talking about a weighted vest for walking or running and things like that. But they could also have this content on this page to talk about how you can use this for running, which one of these is best for walking, hiking, rucking, things like that. So that being said, let's look at this other tool here called Surfer SEO to get an idea as to what content should be optimized or how this page could be optimized better for a key phrase like weighted vest. So what this is looking at, if you haven't seen any of my videos before, this is a tool called Surfer SEO, and we put a keyword in here, and then we put the page on the website we want to optimize better. And what this looks at is an average of the top 5 ranking sites in Google for this keyword to let us know the expected range for all these different optimization factors in terms of content density, the amount of content, keywords within the content, H1 tags, things like that. So we'll go through a couple items here. And first is if we look at the keyword density, you can see here for the term weight vest, if that's the primary term to rank for, it recommends a range of 3 to 8 times to have weight vest on that page, and they have it 6, so they're in that expected range, which is good. But if they're wanting to rank for weighted vest or weighted vests, it recommends again 3 to 8 or 2 to 6 times for either of those, and they have those 0 times. Adjustable weight vest 1 time, they have it 0. Adjustable weighted vest 1 to 2, they have it 0. So you can kind of see the value of having additional content either on this page or having articles for these that are optimized specifically for each of these keywords. Because again, if we go back to the keyword chart here, weighted vest is searched 35,000 times per month. And if we do a search for weight vest, and in general, there's going to be very similar rankings for these, but making it extremely easy for a search engine to understand exactly what you want to rank for is almost always going to be more beneficial for you if that's your primary focus keyword. So the reason for this would be weight vest, 13,000 searches, weighted vest, 35,000. And the competition generally is going to be a little bit stronger for something with more search volume. But if you have a strong domain and you're working to rank for that, it would make sense to optimize for a term that is more specific and has higher search volume. So back to the Surfer audit here, add additional content. And you can see here, GoRuck has almost 3,000 words, Hyperware 1,600, Amazon usually skews this data, as you can see here, but even still, Rogue has twice the amount of content as Fringe Sport does. So opportunity there to add content. You can see all of these sites that are ranking better have more content. And then exact keywords in the body. So you can see here, GoRuck has actually the lowest, but then we have Hyperware and Rogue, both with 1.28 and 1.88 instances of the exact keyword per 100 words in the body, and Fringe has it 0. So it's going to be much more difficult to rank for a keyword like that if you have it nowhere in the content. And then keyword in the H1, same thing here. Amazon has it, but none of the other sites do because they have partial matches. Add one exact keyword in the title. Hyperware has it. So I think you kind of get the point. I'm not going to go through every single one of these instances here, even though I went through most of them. But the big key is to optimize your content as well as possible for the keyword or phrase you want to rank for. And then one other opportunity here I wanted to share is looking at what's called a content gap. So I mentioned if you didn't want to optimize this page specifically for this key phrase, to instead work to build content that you can build up the overall your overall ability to rank for additional keywords by having more content on your site, not necessarily on this page. And again, if you didn't want to have a paragraph on here about the best weighted vest for walking or best weighted vest for running, things like that, those could be content article topics for you as well. And the one opportunity or one way to look at where and how to build content is this tool here called content gap analysis within Ahrefs. And the biggest thing you're looking at here is this chart shows all of the keywords and phrases that Rogue Fitness, Titan Fitness, or Rep Fitness rank on page 1 for, that Fringe Sport does not rank for at all. And you can see here 20,173 keywords. Let me zoom this in. And the big thing though is looking at and filtering through this to get opportunities that actually make sense. A keyword like Rogue, there's no value in ranking or something like that, or Noble or any of these other brands that wouldn't make sense to rank for. But we can do filters to include keywords that just have the word what in it to give us some question-based topics. So there's 169 keywords that either of these sites rank for that Fringe Sport does not. So if it's something like what do Bulgarian, there we go, split squats work? What is Jacob's ladder? What muscles do these different exercises work? or we can do how type keywords. 319 keywords. How to get better at pull-ups, how to turn fat into muscle, how much is 245 plates on each side, things like that. And you can see Titan ranking for a lot of these different keywords. And one of the reasons why they get so much traffic is because they have all of this content on their site that other competitors are not ranking for. And just as one last thing to look at is looking at Titan Fitness to see how much traffic they actually get. And if we compare, again, back to Fringe here, you can see they rank for about 25,000 keywords, about 40,000 monthly organic visitors. If we look at Titan, they rank for 60,000 keywords, 205,000 visitors. So massive opportunity here from a content perspective. And last thing here, the DR56 for Fringe and DR59 for Titan. So not much stronger from a domain perspective, which doesn't mean anything in general, but as we're looking at a competitor, that is a solid idea that these are a lot of keywords that Fringe could also probably compete for based on that data point alone, and based on the fact that Titan is getting so much traffic and has so much content. And that's it. Hopefully this video gave you some value, showed you a little bit about how to do an audit and what can be done and the potential for doing these things correctly. And that's it. If you love it or like it, subscribe to the channel. I do more audits like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.